Get tickets now.
Look, I got a dog. Oh.
To the movie event of the summer.
You sure that's a dog?
Yeah.
Rough.
This Memorial Day, the summer starts with Stitch.
Adorable little psychopath.
Disney's Lilo and Stitch, rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. Now playing only in theaters.
Atlanta Braves are back.
Here comes the throw. It's late. Braves win.
And ESPN Northwest Florida is your exclusive radio home for Braves country.
He just wrecked that thing. Straight away center, a homer for Riley.
Sales, Strider, Acuna, Ozzie, Riley, Profar, and Coach Snitker lead a stellar lineup. Listen live nights and weekends on ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Wednesday. The rest of the day, possible thunderstorms and mostly sunshine, and 86 with a gentle breeze at 11 miles per hour coming out of the southwest. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with lows around 79. Tomorrow, partly cloudy in the morning, but otherwise likely thunderstorms and a temperature near 84. Moving into Friday, about the same with a high of 83 and likely thunderstorms and moderate rain. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
CBC Construction is looking for a few good men. At CBC Construction, our greatest strength lies within our talented team. Join us and be a part of a dynamic company that values its people. We offer a tremendous opportunity to create a future for your family and the Florida Panhandle. CBC Construction is now hiring. Call us at 850-740-3815 or visit cbcconstruction.com to learn more. CBC Construction. Be part of a winning team.
Tired of boring merch and want your brand to stand out like the big names? Elevate your look with Red 7 Tees. They don't just print shirts, they create bold identities. They are a veteran-owned custom apparel shop providing the kind of detail that turns heads, using high-quality digital printing and embroidery to give you that unique style you love with no minimums or cookie-cutter designs. From small business to sports teams, if you've got a vision, they'll help you wear it proudly. Visit red7tees.com.
Are you hungry for authentic Mexican cuisine? Then come to El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, where we serve up the freshest, most flavorful dishes on the beach. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, a great location, comfortable atmosphere, and happy hour from 3 to 7. Buy one, get one free, regular margaritas and 12-ounce house drafts. And you're going to love their lunch specials Monday through Friday from 11 to 3. Plus live music Wednesdays and Saturdays starting at 5:30. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, Thomas Drive across from the Navy base. And 10908 Front Beach Road.
When you bring your vehicle to Panama City Toyota for repairs or maintenance, you'll get the warmest welcome around.
That's because we see service differently.
It's not only an expert team that can help with everything, from simple adjustments to a new set of tires. It's also a team that values your time, so we make your experience as quick and comfortable as possible. Because we're committed to service that goes beyond. Only at Panama City Toyota.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
And that's out of the ballpark.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Broadcasting from the CBC Construction Studios. Get ready.
Let's play the game.
Sports Talk Radio will never be the same.
I just don't think that anybody's going to succeed in that system.
It's a bad organization.
It's just a bad organization.
The Afternoon Underdogs.
Onion pickles, onions, pickles.
Live and local.
Look, it's impressive.
On ESPN
Northwest Florida.
What is going on, Panama City? You are now in the doghouse riding along with the Afternoon Underdogs. I'm David Hayes, along with our good friend Banji Vamadella. He is the local sports reporter here for the Panama City News Herald. He's going to go on to do great things in his career, but right now we are blessed to have him as a writer at the News Herald, and then also giving us some of his time weekly. Banji, how are you doing today on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon?
I'm doing great. It is a beautiful Wednesday. The heat, it's starting to heat up again. Summer's approaching. I'm a little scared because, once it gets to like 10 a.m., I don't really try to go outside because it's too hot. So I'm enjoying the days.
Yeah, man. And this is, it's still tolerable right now. Mm-hmm. Once you get into like middle of August, I'm like a bear at that point in time. A very small bear, kind of like a polar bear. Not saying that polar bears are small, but they're white. Mm-hmm. And so, but no. In all seriousness, like I every year, once we get into the cooler months, I'm like, man, I wish I wouldn't have just stayed inside the whole, August and September, essentially. But it's miserable out there, man.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely miserable.
Oh, yeah. And there's times where we do, like, the first week of practice for football, and even going
Send me
out
the
there,
film, Coach.
For real, though, because we go out there early in the morning, and it's muggy, humid, and I'm just...
And Mosley, at least, maybe all the other schools do as well, start at like 5 in the morning, don't they?
Yeah, Arnold too, like Bozeman, all of them do it because it's like, that's probably the coolest it's going to be all day, which is crazy.
And I guess it's good for your discipline and your work ethic and all that good stuff. And I say good for you guys. I do not like mornings, bro. Like waking up before 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock, rather. There's no reason. There's no reason unless you have one of those, what do we call it during the COVID years? Essential jobs. You got one of them essential jobs. Caveman Rick on the ones and twos. Caveman, how are you doing today, my friend?
Doing fine. Good to see you guys again today. Happy Wednesday.
Yes, sir. We're live and local from the CBC Construction Studios. You can give them a call at 850-747-3815, or you can go to their website, cbcconstruction.com. All right, we've got a lot to dive into today. Obviously, we're going to have Banji talking about Bay County sports. Not a whole lot going on. We don't have anyone left in the playoffs here. We've got a new hire, technically, over there at Rutherford, new athletic director over there at Rutherford. We'll talk about that. And then we'll dive into Bay County athletes and coaches of the year. And then I've got a lot of basketball stuff for you. So excited about that. Then Morgan Hilliard will join us at the top of hour number 2. Got a new game for us to play starting off that second hour. Who said it? Ball coach, which would be like the real answer, or a blowhard, which would be not real. Got some college football and NFL topics there. And then, of course, we're going to be making our picks for the College World Series. The regionals are set to get underway. Excited about that as well, because we have our Morgan Hilliard joining us at 5 o'clock to talk all things college baseball and beyond. The Braves did end up losing to the Philadelphia Phillies last night 2-0. The good news is that will not happen tonight. Not because the Braves are going to beat the Phillies or the Phillies are going to beat the Braves, but the weather has beat both of them this evening, and so that game will be postponed. They're going to have a doubleheader tomorrow. We will not be airing the first dip of the doubleheader, but we will have the second game, which starts at 5:45. Banji, you come in weekly. We try to talk Braves when we can. How have you felt about Acuna's emergence back into the league?
How I felt, man. We all saw that first pitch. We all saw what he's done.
I didn't get to see it, but I did get to see it later on. I was a little ticked off.
Oh yeah, I mean it's one of those things where you're just like, when he's playing, it's great for the sport of baseball. And yeah, as a Braves fan, as a fringe, well, I wouldn't say I'm a fringe baseball fan. Like, I actually follow baseball a lot, but I just don't, the weeds of it, I'm not. Yeah, but, him, Ohtani, you could say Ellie De La Cruz, there's so many just stars in baseball that it's like, it just makes it enjoyable. When he's playing, you see it, the Braves, even though, those 2 games against the Padres, we didn't actually, I think we ended up winning 1 and losing the other 2, but, he just having him back in the lineup, it's a breath of fresh air.
It is, and we're still losing games, but that's not because of Ronald Acuna.
Exactly.
Even Spencer Strider last night threw well. Had one of the best pitches in Major League Baseball last night, tagging Bryce Harper on the elbow. I'm totally joking about that.
We should have paid the favor back by plunking Acuna last night.
I was going to ask you, Rick, I know we talked about it a little bit last night, if you thought that that Bryce Harper would be playing this evening, but he gets another day to rest.
He went down, man. He was like, when he walked away from the plate, he went down between the plate and the dugout, and he was down on one knee for a while. And you think about when you get hit in your elbow, funny bone and all that kind of stuff. That hurts, man. I don't think, like how I said too last night, why would you rush him back? We're first place. We can take a few L's and we're still doing just fine. You don't win the World Series in June. You win it in October and November. So save them up, if he fights and he wants to play, tell him to sit his rear end down. How many World Series championships do you got, Bryce? Sit down.
Less than his old team. Less than his old team, the Washington Nationals. So there is that. But he is out. They haven't put him on the injured list or anything like that to this point. It is a bruise. The X-rays came back negative. So that's really good news. I mean, no one wants to see anyone go down. I don't know. As a Braves fan, would I like to see Bryce Harper go down? No, but if they just didn't put him in the lineup, hey, sure. Yeah. I'm cool with that. But no, heck of a ball player there. And the Braves still lost to the Phillies last night because that was early in the game that
was his first at bat.
Yeah.
So and he was batting, I think, third. So, yeah, I mean, it was third batter up. He got hit, yeah.
The Phillies win, walking in a run in the ninth. Great pitching from Spencer Strider, but that is what it is. They just got to keep on plugging along for this season of 2025. I do believe that they can still make the playoffs. The call-in question of the day. If you could steal one player from your biggest rival and put them on your team, who are you taking and why? So I've got a Facebook post up, so we'll read some of those off real quick. And then if you guys have any already ready, we'll jump into it. If not, I'll give you guys a little time to think. 2 minutes to be precise, because that'll be the time allotted between the end of this segment and when we start with Banji Bombadella. Scott Price has got Myles Garrett. Now, I'm not entirely sure. He's a Steelers fan, so he says there is no quarterback to grab for the Steelers on the Browns, so this is an easy selection. Myles Garrett, yeah? I mean, but you could also go, do you as a Steelers fan, any Steelers fan out there, do you really consider the Cleveland Browns
your rival
to be, and not saying that they're not your rival, because they are to some extent, divisional rival, no doubt, but you've got two other teams, rather.
I'd argue the Ravens,
Cincinnati Bengals, and then that's where I would go, is the Baltimore Ravens. And then I would also go there for quarterback to go get the stud, Lamar Jackson. So, Scott, now we got to hear from you. Call in to the Red 7T phone line, 850-215-6290. Tell me, how in the world does a Steelers fan think that the Browns are your biggest rival? Ohio Brad, who is a Cleveland Browns fan, he says he's swooping Lamar Jackson off the Ravens. Now, the Browns, I feel like their most hated rival is themselves. So just go get Deshaun Watson, my friend. Again, I'm being facetious. It's a great day today. My brother and my sister-in-law, Mercy, my brother Will, sister-in-law, Mercy, they are in the process right now of being induced at the hospital. So could have my first niece. I don't have a niece or nephew, but could have my first niece tonight or sometime tomorrow. So I'm just genuinely excited. Let's see. Boston Tim, baseball. He's going current Aaron Judge. He's a Boston Red Sox fan. Okay. Hitting power, but then all time, he's going with Mariano Rivera. For football, he's New England Patriots. Mm-hmm. Josh Allen, currently Bruce Smith, all time. And then for basketball, he's going with James, which I can only assume would be who?
LeBron James.
And he's a Boston Celtics fan, so you're not a natural rival with the Chicago Bulls, but you are a legendary rival with the LA Lakers there. But currently, it's LeBron James. All time, who you think it is? You think he's going Magic Jerry
Kareem.
West? No. Kobe. He's going with Kobe. Okay. Chris Enfinger. He's going with Fred Taylor. So he is a...
This is the Jaguars.
He's a Knowles fan, but I would assume Chris is talking about maybe being a Buccaneers fan. I don't know how the Jags would necessarily be your biggest rival, but it is within the state, so I'll allow it. Fred Taylor and Warwick Dunn would have been unstoppable. Imagine that. Imagine them just flipping spaces. You got, or trading places, rather. Warwick Dunn going from FSU to the Florida Gators, and then vice versa for Fred Taylor going from Florida to FSU. Getting ready for that 2:30 kickoff coming up at the end of August, which will be here before you know it. 10 out of 10, a game I do not want to go to because of that 2:30 kickoff, 3:30 Tallahassee time. Christopher Multicante is going with DJ Lagway to the U.
Okay.
Who Which team would be better? With DJ Lagway at quarterback, would it be Florida or Miami? Obviously, we have no idea what's really going on with either program right now.
Yeah, but I'm thinking, is Carson Beck better than DJ Lagway, right?
Isn't there questions right now if Carson Beck's even going to be able to play due to an injury?
Yeah. That's a good, that one, that's a toss-up. Like, I mean, at the current moment, seeing, because Lagway's recovering from injury as well.
Right.
So that one, I can understand maybe, but yeah, that's an interesting one.
I guess I would answer that 2 different ways. And I forgot about the ways as soon as I said that. Oh, man, whatever. We're just going to move on to the next one because that one ran away from me. Micah Scribner is going with Vince Wilfork to the Dolphins. It's where he should have been. That would probably have been a good landing spot right there for Vince Wilfork, but wherever Big Vince played at, he was playing great. And then finally, but not last, Sam Peebles, Bryce Harper, MVP potential. That's the key word right there, potential, while being a solid leader. There's no doubt about it, though. When it comes down to Bryce Harper, he is phenomenal. Also phenomenal, the Indiana Pacers run in the NBA playoffs right now. Banji, I don't get enough time to brag about this, and it's not bragging until we get down to needing just 4 more to win. Right now, it's still at 5. We'll see what happens Thursday evening. But they take a 3-1 series lead after a 130-121 win over the Knicks last night. Pascal Siakam had 30. Tyrese Halliburton, 32, 12 rebounds, 15 assists, 4 steals, which not a lot of people are talking about. Yeah. Is that a large amount? No. Is it double digits? No. But it's still 4 steals, leading to turnovers, leading to second chance point, or leading to points off of turnovers there. And he didn't have a single turnover himself. First time that this has ever been done in the playoffs. Banji, what did you take away from the Pacers and the Knicks last night?
Well, the whole thing with Halliburton being overrated, that seems like that was such a long time ago now, because he's just proven game after game, series after series at this point. But also, I mean, the Knicks, they were riding such a high, and I think them making it to the finals, the Eastern Conference Finals, was like, it seems like they're still like, that was like their goal, but it's just like, you have another series to win. So the Pacers, they're shocking me. Siakam is playing in good form, like his Raptors form when he had that 2019 run with Kawhi Leonard. And Halliburton, though, I mean, he's the overall story. I mean, 32, 12, and 15 with 0 turnovers. People are like calling it's like Chris Paul, but like Chris Paul on steroids kind of like thing, because it's like Chris Paul he'd put up stuff similar to that, but like not really mattered in the playoffs, because that's where it always seemed to fall. But
still, I would say outside of the Pacers actually being able to hoist the Larry O'Brien trophy, Chris Paul would be like the player in the NBA that I would like to see have a ring the most.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I think it's because anytime I would start a franchise on NBA 2K or NBA Live or whatever, I would always go and get, at one point in time, the best point guard in the league, right?
Chris Paul.
You don't think that at one point in time?
At one point in
you
time?
might be a little too young for that. I'm just kidding.
Are you talking about like New Orleans Chris Paul, or are you talking about Clippers Chris Paul was one of the best point guards? Because
in name only, no.
Because I'm not a Chris Paul hater by any means, but it's like the way people talk about him, like he's like this.
He's got a lot of reverence, right?
Yeah, like he's like a legendary point guard in like NBA history. I just don't see it. I don't. But maybe it's also because he's not the high flyer that maybe a Westbrook was, or D Rose was. Or even, I mean, even with assists, like he was in like a Stockton, a Magic, or like I'd have a Dame Lillard, because he had such great attributes of shooting and defense and maybe passing too. But it's just, I don't know, Chris Paul, I don't know how we got to Chris Paul, but yeah, Chris Paul, he doesn't move my needle at all.
Well, my needle did get moved back to the 2 things that I forgot earlier when we were talking about DJ Lagway. It's funny how you distract yourself from something and then it comes right back. But I was going to say that the schedule might present itself to be easier if DJ Lagway was the quarterback of Miami. But then also on the flip side of that, Miami beat Florida last year to start the season. So there is that, but it's a different team now, not having Cam Ward. Cam Ward was seasoned and grew in different stages, right? And I'm not just saying that because he's the Titans quarterback. He did what he did last year, right?
Yeah.
And we're already hearing now in Tennessee what we heard in the offseason when Cam Ward first got to Miami is how good of a leader he is. So we're hearing that right now, and you need that in the league, even if you got a rookie quarterback. We'll see, offensive line.
You're still only winning 5 games, but, go ahead.
Let's go 6. Let's go 6, right? Maybe they could beat the Chiefs on December 21st. That would be a lot of fun. Caveman Rick, what did you think about that Pacers-Knicks game last night?
Kind of what we were expecting, I think, in a lot of ways. I mean, the Pacers have been kind of handling business. I'm not surprised to see them winning this series. They are kind of like a Jekyll and Hyde team as far as with the scoring. You just never know what you're going to get out of guys like Siakam and Halliburton. Are they going to go for 35, or if you're going to get 18 out of them in a game? So they both kind of went off last night. So when that happens, I mean, you're pretty much guaranteeing them to win. So.
That's a good point. I want to look up all the scores so far to this point in the series because I feel like every time the total goes just about over. I think there was only one game where they did not go over, and the lone Knicks win was a 106-100 win for them. So you got game 1, which went to overtime, but it went to overtime tied at 125, ended up at 138-135. Pacers win. Game 2, 114-109 in favor of the Pacers. Game 3, 106-100, and then last night, 130-121. And they just got off to a fast start. Really, the Pacers in every game of this series has gotten off to a fast start. Then in the game that they lost, kind of waned late in the second quarter and through a large part of the third, and then, had a shot there in the fourth. So we'll see how that series plays out, but the Thunder have a chance to get it done and go ahead and move on to the NBA Finals tonight against the Timberwolves. What are you expecting to see from that game tonight?
Oh, I mean, kind of like what we've been seeing all series, even though, I don't think we're going to see Shea shoot, 13 for 30 again. Especially though it's he shot 13 for 30, but he still gets his points. I mean, majority, I can see it now how people complain about him flopping.
Free throw merchant.
And the thing is though, it annoys me because he embraces that.
Why wouldn't he?
He knows what he's doing. We're seeing 2018 James Harden all over again, where it's just you're foul baiting. And it's working in your favor.
How many players do that now, though? But they won't own up to that's what they're doing.
Yeah, you're right. There's plenty of players who do it, but it's just it's annoying how it's just happening. It's just keep on happening. The calls keep on going in his favor. But yeah, I think the Timberwolves, they're done. I just think they don't have it in them anymore, especially because. And it's are we seeing the plateau of Anthony Edwards? It's another...
As a career? Or
no.
Okay.
It's another conference finals loss. When are we going to see it where they make it to the finals? Is this as far as he can take a team or as far as he could take the Timberwolves?
Well, really, when we're looking at these teams, all right, Jalen Brunson, he's the motor to the New York Knicks. No doubt about that. I would like to say with the Pacers, yes, it's Pascal and Tyrese Halliburton in their payments, right, and their salaries. But outside of that, it's a deep team with a lot of guys contributing. When you look at the Timberwolves, it's Ant Edwards, Julius Randle is kind of hot and cold at times, so he needs a little bit more help. Even with OKC and the MVP and SGA, he's got help over there, though.
A lot of help.
He's got a lot of help, and so... Me personally, I think that's great for the game of basketball, specifically, obviously, the NBA, because we're seeing a lot more parity. And was it fun when they were putting all the super teams together and stuff? Yeah, for the offseason, so you're getting updates I can't believe that happened. Yeah. Then you go through the season this is kind of dumb, Maybe I'd have a different outlook on it had the Pacers actually won one of those series. But it was a fun time in the NBA when they were all putting those super teams together. Now you got to grow it. You've got to grow that team, grow the chemistry, and you got to have a coach. Last I checked, we had 3-4 coaches fired who were, was it 2 or 3 teams that were fired who were in the playoffs?
Yeah, there was
and
Taylor
they get
Jenkins,
fired.
Mike Malone. Yeah.
Yeah, but 75% of the teams make the playoffs now. So that's not saying much.
What's it? Whoa, well,
20 teams.
20 teams, yeah. So that is.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I mean, like saying making the playoffs ain't saying much anymore.
Well, does it count as making?
That's
the
like
playoffs?
saying making a bowl game in college football. Who cares? You won half your games.
If you're playing,
don't say that. We love our bowl games, bro.
If you're playing in the play-in tournament, that don't count as making the playoffs?
I believe.
the playoffs.
I think that they have like a special area for the statistics, though, where it's like a play-in stat.
I was thinking, yes, it's 20, but then it's like not, though, because then whoever gets eliminated from the play-in tournament, they're not in the playoffs.
But, I mean, you have to be in that play-in tournament to be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're in the playoffs.
It's officially considered, according to Wikipedia, so don't quote me, quote Wikipedia here, officially considered separate from the NBA playoffs. The NBA play-in tournament uses a modified page playoff format in which they, you know the rest of that. So technically, it is not the NBA playoffs. We've got to run to a break. You guys are listening to ESPN Northwest Florida, riding along with the Afternoon Underdogs. Quick timeout. Oh, no, we're not going to break just yet because Caveman Rick is on the phone right now, so we can't just go to break without him pressing buttons or else I'm going to be in trouble for giving you guys dead air. Travis Hunter, he's not going to be practicing with the offense and defensive units during OTAs. Only during OTAs. That's according to Coach Liam Cohen over there, Mr. Duval. Hunter will participate in both offensive and defensive meetings, and then as they get closer to the season, probably before preseason starts, he should be at least having packages on the offensive and defensive side of the ball.
Have you seen those clips
about his routes?
Yeah.
What do you think that they're messed with at all? My initial reaction was, don't even bring that up unless someone else brings it up, because there's so many times I say stuff because I saw it quickly on social media, didn't take the time to investigate, and then later on I'm sitting in my truck on the way home and I'm like, man, I was so stupid for saying that. So when I saw Travis Hunter, it has nothing talking to myself has nothing to do with Travis Hunter. You know what I mean? It's just I've said a lot of things that weren't necessarily not on the up and up. They weren't factual because they were modified in social media there. So when I saw him running poor routes, according to the videos that we saw, I was just like, I'll let the cake bake on that rather than saying, what did the Jaguars do here? Hey, Sean, before we take a break, what do you got on the Atlanta Braves, my friend?
Okay. You may have already just talked about them. I don't know. I came in about 10 minutes after you guys started on my ride home. Have you already talked about the Braves and how they did like last night and stuff?
Yeah, they lost 2-0, and then they will not be playing tonight. They've got their game was postponed tonight due to the weather against the Phillies.
Okay. Yeah, I was just going to say I didn't know if y'all had already talked about them, but if you don't mind, I just a comment about them.
Absolutely, go ahead.
And how they've been playing lately. Is it Caveman? Who's the big Phillies fan? Is it Caveman Rick?
That'd be me, sir.
Okay, yeah, and I got no problem. Y'all, this is just my take on especially the Phillies and Braves. They own us, and I mean own us as in I like the Braves. Been following them since Dale Murphy, days. So that shows you how long I've been watching them. But the Phillies, I watched last night's game. It was on TBS, so I don't rarely get to see their games. But it was pathetic. I mean, we had 5 hits, I think, scored 0 runs.
Which, did we out-hit the Phillies last night? Because I know for a while y'all were sitting there with one.
Yeah, we didn't have a whole lot of hits either.
Yeah, but they scored 2 runs. I mean, and it's just like, come on. I sat down, I was going to enjoy the game because, again, I don't get to see them that often. I don't have any unless they're on ESPN or TBS or MLB, just a regular game of the night. That's the only time I get to see them. But and it's just like, are you kidding me? Here we go again. And I mean, he's. As a Phillies fan, he gets to see a lot of Phillies beating the Braves a lot. It seems like, especially in the last, in the last 10 years or something.
Yep.
But,
you're getting Caveman Rick too excited around here. We need him in the mindset of kicking babies and whatnot. The Phillies and the Braves last night both went for 5 hits. That second run in the game was due to a bases-loaded walk. First run in the game was what? Was that a homer?
Might have been Trey Turner.
I don't think it was a homer. I think, but that Bohm, or is it BOHM or Rom?
Alec Bohm.
Yeah, Bohm. Yeah, that guy. He kills us too. Every time that guy's getting a big hit, or he's going from first to home on a hit or something. I mean, the guy he's a beast, and he's a brace in my opinion. But anyways, I did not know that, because it was a game that MLB Network was going to have tonight in the local area, and I was looking forward to watching tonight's game, but they've already canceled it or postponed it because of rain.
Yes, sir. It will not be going on tonight, so they're going to have a double header tomorrow, and I'll tell you guys the time of the first part of the doubleheader, and the second half will be at 5:45 right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Sean, we got to run to a break. And thanks so much for the call. Chop on, my friend.
Yep. Y'all have a good one.
All right, you're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. Coming up next, Bay County Sports with Banji Bomandela.
It's the PCB Hobby Takeover with Todd. Mondays at 5:20 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
That is a very high-end card and very rare.
Todd talks about coins, trading cards, collectibles, and the amazing stories behind them.
It was the first one that's ever come through my door.
Plus, we'll be taking your calls and questions at 850-215-6290. The PCB Hobby Takeover.
A platform for you to do your hobby.
Mondays at 5:20 on the Sports Talk Monster. ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Wednesday. The rest of the day, possible thunderstorms and mostly sunshine, and 86 with a gentle breeze at 11 miles per hour coming out of the southwest. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with lows around 79. Tomorrow, partly cloudy in the morning, but otherwise likely thunderstorms and a temperature near 84. Moving into Friday, about the same with a high of 83 and likely thunderstorms and moderate rain. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Tired of boring merch and want your brand to stand out like the big names? Elevate your look with Red 7 Tees. They don't just print shirts, they create bold identities. They are a veteran-owned custom apparel shop providing the kind of detail that turns heads, using high-quality digital printing and embroidery to give you that unique style you love with no minimums or cookie-cutter designs. From small business to sports teams, if you've got a vision, they'll help you wear it proudly. Visit red7tees.com.
Whether you're an experienced investor or first-time buyer, Beach House will provide you with top-notch service to guide you through every step of the process. We make the real estate process fun and easy through effective marketing, strategic advertising, and always a client-focused experience. From single-family homes to full-scale developments, Beach House Sales Development has you covered. Check them out at beachhousesalesfl.com or give them a call at 850-919-3500.
Broadcasting from the CBC Construction Studios. You're riding shotgun with the Afternoon Underdogs. We're going to need some gas money. The Afternoon Underdogs.
Fill her up, please.
At 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
We are live, we are local, we are the Afternoon Underdogs, broadcasting live from the CBC Construction Studios. Go to cbcconstruction.com or give them a holler at 850-747-3815 for all of your construction needs. I'm David Hayes along with Banji, Bomandela, and Caveman Rick, Afternoon Underdogs here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida in beautiful Panama City. Calling question of the day, you can hit us on the Red 7 Tees phone line at 850-215-6290. If you could steal one player from your biggest rival and put them on your team, who are you taking and why? Banji Bomandela in the building with us. He's our sports reporter here for the Panama City News Herald. I've got to see him in action multiple times this year, and a great guy to talk to on and off the air as well. Always enjoy our conversations, my friend, and thankful to still have you here in the offseason. I was a little worried, like, you might take some time, some Wednesdays off, and that'll be all good, but really do enjoy having you, especially being able to talk some NBA playoffs with you. But what is Let's start off with Rutherford, new basketball coach, new athletic director. Jabbar Manning, I believe, was the AD before, right?
Yes,
and
sir.
he has taken a job at another school within Bay County, right?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
I know that he stepped down, he resigned, and he told me that he's going to try to spend more time with his family and that he doesn't know exactly what his next steps are. But yes, Rutherford, they have a new change. Girls basketball head coach Tony Davis will now be the athletic director and the boys head basketball coach, replacing Rondi Ross, who...
Is he doing all three?
No, two.
Okay.
Two, because I talked with the county AD, Josh Latcher. He actually told me today that they have somebody in mind to be the girls' head basketball coach, but they haven't yet announced it yet. But Coach Tony Davis is going to be the athletic director and boys' basketball coach. And, I mean, it's going to be big shoes to fill because Coach Ross is a very beloved man in this county, not only in this county, in the Panhandle. He's a huge figure, and I think Coach Davis will do it because he's 73-8 with Rutherford in his 3 seasons as the girls' head coach. 5 straight district championships. He was the coach for 3 of those consecutive district championships and 3 Elite 8 appearances. So I mean, he's definitely capable, I think, of leading, you know, not only young women, but also young men. And it'll be interesting to see how dynamic he'll be, but also balancing being an AD and a boys basketball coach.
And especially if you've never had that role before, I have no idea what actually goes into being an athletic director, and then to try to balance your duty as a coach at the same time. Like I know Coach Patton was doing that for a while over there at Bozeman, baseball athletic director. Doug Lee did it for a time over there at Mosley as well. I can only imagine all the struggle that comes with that. And then all the, you already got a ton of questions that you've got to answer when you're the coach of a team. Yep. But then when you're the coach of a team and everyone who's got questions for you, they're coming to you. No, sir, we're going to find someone else to do that this afternoon. But anyways, congratulations to Coach Tony Davis. He's going to be the AD over there at Rutherford and the boys basketball coach. Let's go over the all Bay County players and coaches. We're just doing the player of the year and the coaches of the year, but you can go to PanamaCityNewsHerald.com. Check out Banji's latest articles. They've got first team, second team, and honorable mentions. And the honorable mentions aren't just 1, 2, 3 names. It's about as big as the first and second team.
Exactly.
So thank you to you, or we appreciate you for putting all of that together. But tell the people who might think that you're creating this whole list. Tell the people, tell the listeners about the process that goes into putting these Bay County teams and coaches, players of the year together.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I also put it in each article that the players who are named player of the year, the players who are also making the all-county teams, they are voted on by a panel of coaches and media members, and it's at the end of the season. And you know, it's kind of like you can't vote for your own player in most cases. And, you know, for coach of the year, player of the year, you can't vote for your own self as either. So it's completely unbiased because you can't vote for your own player. So then if your player ends up on that team, that means other coaches in the area recognize that player and they voted for them.
I like that rule.
Exactly. So so anytime anybody ever has a problem with the all county list or anything like that,
see Josh Latch. No, I'm just kidding.
That, but also, it was voted by the coaches. So, you know, if you have an issue with my child's second team and not first team, coaches in the county recognize the fact that your child's even on there. To me,
that's a big deal.
It's a big deal. It's a very big deal. So that's how the process is. So, you know, I'm just the medium that puts out the all-county teams out there. Yes, I might have a vote on these all-county teams, but my vote isn't the vote.
There you go. How many people do you know off the top of your head about how many voters it is?
So, I mean, it depends by sport. So, yeah. I mean, I would think six coaches and then 3 media members. So 9 in total. So it's an odd number so that, you know, we don't have any ties.
There you go, man. Banji Bomadella getting things done, but did not put that list all together by himself or did not choose it. He put it together. No doubt about that. Put it together, but did not choose who was going to be first team, second team, honorable mention, and fair to say the most important, right? Player of the year and coach of the year. So what do we got over there? Start with whatever sport you feel like doing first, bro?
Well, I'll start off with boys weightlifting. Evan Ernest, the Bozeman weightlifter, he actually won 2 state titles this season. He won it in the Olympic lift and the traditional lift. That actually makes it his 3rd state title. He most decorated Bozeman athlete of all time, with 3 state titles.
He's the Michael Phelps of Bozeman, baby.
So he's actually a senior. So I saw him at graduation, and if you saw all the medals this young man has, you could hear him from 3 miles away. He has so many medals, and I'm just proud of all the work he's put in to be as elite as he is in this weightlifting. And then Coach of the Year, Trenton Edwards at North Bay Haven, first-year head coach.
Oh, let me ask you about Trent. Is he kind of beefed up a little bit, like he's in the gym?
I mean, he probably moves.
Does he got curly hair, kind of?
I think so, yeah.
I think he wasn't going to church at First Baptist, but he was helping out with the basketball league that I was coaching in for like youth basketball. Great young man, Trent Edwards. So congratulations to him.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because North Bay Haven, they swept districts and then also won a region title as a team. That's really hard in weightlifting because you have to rely on everybody's individual scoring. Mm-hmm. So the fact that as a team they swept their districts and won regional, it's especially as a first-year head coach, it's an amazing feat. So then I'll move on to this one. I mean, this one seemed kind of self-explanatory to me. All-county baseball. Player of the Year, Cooper Moss, the pitcher over there at Arnold. Yeah. I mean, he hit the 300th strikeout mark this season, and also he hit 3 homers this year to total 20 home runs. So 300 strikeouts, 20 home runs. Never done in Bay County before.
Barry Bonds. No, that's more like the Shohei Ohtani, Babe Ruth of Bay County there.
Yeah. So, Cooper Moss, it's self-explanatory. I mean, Florida commit, Florida signee, Florida, here we come. It's finally, he's been committed to Florida since he was 14 years old.
Yeah, that's insane to think about. I know I can know what I want for lunch when I wake up in the morning, and my mind changes 4 times by the time it gets to lunchtime.
Exactly. The fact that he kept that commitment, it just shows also Florida, they know how to keep their star prospects. And then coach of the year, we couldn't just keep it at one.
Yeah.
We had to do coaches of the year. Coach Chris Jones over there at Arnold, and then Coach Jeff Patton at Bozeman. The swan song, it seems like the final coach of the year, because I believe Coach Patton's probably won a bunch of these coaches of the year. So both coaches, their teams made it to the playoffs. Arnold making it to the Final Four, Bozeman making it to the Elite Eight. So congratulations to both coaches. And then I guess I'll go with all-county softball. Player of the Year, Kaylee Goodpaster, the junior.
Easy money. Well, no, because you got Bree Clark, right?
So, yes, but Kaylee Goodpaster, for what she does as a hitter, as a batter,
right.
Her batting average at one point was at 600. Like, in the state champions, this is how I'll say it. In the state championship game,
she hit 2, didn't she?
First at bat, home run. Second at bat, single. Third at bat, she gets walked. And then the fourth at bat, they're like, okay, we're going to try to prove something.
Yeah.
She homers again. You're not getting that from any other player, not even just in Bay County. I don't think you're getting any other player in the state of Florida, honestly. So Kaylee Goodpaster, 12 homers. She's at 47 career homers.
That's insane, man. I am so excited for her career, as I am everyone else's who's out here participating in Bay County High School athletics. But, man, you're about to be going to Florida State, a team that we get to all watch on TV.
Yep.
If we're not watching the regular season, we're dang sure watching the regionals and super regionals and Women's College World Series. So we're going to be seeing a lot of Kaylee Goodpaster in the future. I'm excited about that.
And then Coach of the Year, Coach Butch Bernard over there at North Bay Haven, reaching the state title game in his 11th season. It's just incredible what he's done, because freshman Addison Mallon, just a freshman, 23-3 in the circle. I mean, incredible. And then you have 5 batters all batting over 500. I mean, it's incredible what he's doing over there. And that team, they're going to be back, especially because they only graduated 2 seniors. So it's incredible what North Bay Haven did in softball. And then I'll go with the boys tennis. Player of the Year, Fearsing Gantz. I mean, he's been the leader of North Bay Haven tennis since he's been a freshman, but I believe they won regional, they won district, they won regional, and he's the #1 singles player over there, and he's just been an absolute dominant player. And then Coach Mike Madison's, I mean, that North Bay Haven team, they've been dominant all year, and it just shows that tennis isn't that, I wouldn't say tennis isn't like the number one sport that comes to mind for people when they just think about any sport or just, you know, when thinking about sports. But the fact that they are consistently doing well at districts, doing well in regionals, and going to state, it just shows you the time ethic, work ethic, and everything that they put in over there at North Bay Haven. And then I'm going to go with girls tennis. We have Mabangta Awengtang. She and her sister, we
crushed
know,
it.
I tried. I know. I mean, I'm African, so I know. I know. It'd be tough, but yeah, she and her sister both, they won the duos or the doubles state title this past season, which first ever tennis state title in Bay County. So to win that, I mean, I know she's probably very excited, but also, I mean, for your sister as well, we all both do it, especially as sisters.
Doing that together is something no one can ever take away from you.
No one can ever take away.
It's a memory that's going to be at the forefront of y'all's minds as you cruise through life or go through life. Yeah, I mean, some of my best memories are sports, what you name it, me and my brother were doing it together.
Exactly.
So, yeah, that's special, and to me, seeing things like that, I absolutely love it.
Oh, yeah, and then shout out Coach Olds, Deshaun Olds at Rutherford.
Coach Olds!
You know, Coach of the Year, because, I mean, to be able to do that, not only to make history for your school, but make history in the county, it's a special thing. And then I'll go over to wrapping it up with the all-county soccer. I'll start with all-county girls. The girls player of the year, Emily Rollins. There was a point where at the beginning of the season, she scored 8 goals in 3 games. Yeah, she finished the season with 15 goals, 5 assists. And I mean, she was just, since she was a freshman, she led Bay High in scoring. As a freshman all the way through her senior year, she finishes with 16 goals, 17 assists as a career. And she's headed to Eckerd College. And then Coach of the Year, Logan Graham, back-to-back Coach of the Year, coach of North Bay Haven.
Okay.
They won the district title. They also, I believe, won the county title, and they made the playoffs. So it's, they always have great players over there at North Bay Haven, though. That's something that isn't a surprise over there. And then finally, boys soccer all-county, Player of the Year, Xavier Olds. And Rutherford, they finished the season 7-7, and he was a main contributor. He scored 16 goals, and he had an assist. And he was just a major contributor all year for them. It seemed like, you know, when you need a goal, go to Xavier. And then Coach of the Year, to no surprise, I feel like Jonah Hammond of Arnold High.
Easy.
I mean, easy. When you win back-to-back state titles, especially against the same team in the same fashion, it just shows you not only is he a great coach in preparing his players for the big game, but to get there and to repeat as champions, it takes a special person. So shout out Coach Hammond.
All right, man. Great stuff right there. We'll read off some of these text messages, and then we'll dive into a break and come back and talk some more NBA playoffs and just NBA in general with Banji Bomadella. Let's see here. Right State Chris says, in the 90s, the Yankees were the Braves' biggest rival, so he's taken Aaron Judge. And our call-in question of the day is, if you could steal one player from your biggest rival and put them on your team, who are you taking and why? Right State Chris also says, Cincy Bearcats will take Ben Roethlisberger from their rival, which is Miami of Ohio. So there you go. But Johnny, Right State Chris with another good one. And this one might be right up your alley. When did the term, I know it would be up Morgan's, you'll know this after I say this, when did the term merchant get big? The Twitch streamer that he follows uses merchant a lot. Is that like that is a new wave word. Obviously, merchant is not new to the dictionary or its existence being audibly heard out of people's mouths, but it is something that is kind of catchy with the younger generation. I heard someone call it, like, I think they called it like Gen Alpha language or something like that.
Gen Alpha, I think.
Yeah,
because I'm technically Gen Z, but after me is Gen Alpha, which it's just weird. Like, the graduation just happened last week, and I'm just like, some of these kids were born like 2007.
That's how we feel when you're in here with. No, I'm just kidding.
Just speak English, though.
No, because it is English. We all, in our times growing up, we had words that we thought no one else had used in the way that we use them. What's one today? Lit. Well, back in like the 80s, people were saying like lit up like a Christmas tree. They mean the same thing pretty much to an extent, right? let the kids be kids, man. They're going to grow up one day and learn how to talk in a way that everyone can understand them. Yeah. But it's good for them to have a communication that people like you and me maybe can't understand unless we watch enough YouTube and get Babbel. And then we will learn. You guys are right. What's that?
Not a parent, obviously.
No, I am not. Mike Bird says today's question is a no-brainer. I'm a Cowboys fan. Give me Saquon Barkley off the Eagles. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. Back with Banshee Bombadilla after this.
Weather in the Panhandle never stops. Turn to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast.
Up to the minute weather reports all day long.
A chance of thunderstorms and moderate rain.
In-depth storm coverage.
Winter Storm Enzo.
And breaking weather as it happens.
Hurricane Helene.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
We do have a tropical storm warning.
Rely on it.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Wednesday. The rest of the day, possible thunderstorms and mostly sunshine and 86 with a gentle breeze at 11 miles per hour coming out of the southwest. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with lows around 79. Tomorrow, partly cloudy in the morning but otherwise likely thunderstorms and a temperature near 84. Moving into Friday, about the same with a high of 83 and likely thunderstorms and moderate rain. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, where the locals go for the best boiled seafood around. Crawfish, shrimp, red royals, and everything crabs. Watch almost every sporting event in the country on their huge outdoor jumbotron. Follow them on Facebook to stay up to date on weekly events, live music, and food and beer specials. Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, your home away from home for sports, good times, and great food. The best boiled seafood. Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, 320 West 5th Street, downtown Panama City.
Hi folks, it's Tracy from Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Did you know that we have a master jeweler right here in the store? That's right, she has over 20 years experience in the art of repairing jewelry. Most repairs are done within a week, so don't send your jewelry off for 6 weeks. Bring it to us at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. We size rings and solder chains. We can reset your diamond into a new setting and even custom design. You'll get your jewelry back quickly and looking as good as new. Tracy's Fine Jewelry, Bay County's trusted jeweler for over 50 years.
You found us inside the CBC Construction Studios for the A.
Deep right center field, and is gone!
Your spot for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast. Listen live nights and weekends. This is Braves Country. Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're in the doghouse. This doghouse was built by CBC Construction. You can go to their website, cbcconstruction.com, or give them a holler at 850-747-3815. We're the Afternoon Underdogs, and this is ESPN Northwest Florida. You can find it on your dial at 104.3. If you're listening on your radio, you already know that, unless you're scanning, which is a feature that my radio does not have in my truck, or at least not that I'm aware of. Half the time it's either on MP3 or Bluetooth, I guess you would say, which is still an MP3 or 104.3. Tim Pledger chiming in on the call-in question of the day. If you could steal one player from your biggest rival and put them on your team, who are you taking and why? Give us a call on the Reds, or a text on the Red 7 T's phone line. They are the brand that brands you. Tim's got Red Sox taking Jeter back in the day, and Celtics take Magic Johnson. How would that ordeal have worked out if Magic wasn't with the Lakers? It's no Showtime. I mean, talk about a what if for What If Wednesday.
Yeah.
Could be fun, but I think it would be easier to talk about the what ifs if we actually lived in those days. So, Caveman, how do you think that? I'm just messing with you, man. I'm just messing with you. Johnny Yankee Seed said, I can't take any Eagle. The hate is 100% real. Me and Banji were talking in the break right there. Is how did you pose it? Are the Cowboys and the Eagles each other's biggest rival in the NFL?
Probably so. I would think so. I mean,
I feel like the NFC East, just like, if you're the Eagles, all three of those teams hate the Eagles the same. I feel like y'all all hate each other the same amount. It's a beautiful division in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that, but I think overall, Dallas is the more hated. It's because of the fan base, I think.
You can say that for your team, too, yeah.
Man, we're the greatest fan base. Got the best home field and away field advantage in all of sports. Nobody likes us. It's great. We go into other people's houses, and they're talking about us when we're on the road. You know what I mean? And our fans.
Breaking and entering. B&E.
I'm just saying, though, but like...
You're proving the point.
Making the fans uncomfortable. That's what we do, and that's just great. Because
y'all are the best
if
at
they
that.
come into my house, I don't want them. I don't want any away fans coming into my house. I want it all, Eagles, Phillies, Flyers, Sixers, whoever. I don't want any opposing fans.
Doesn't that kind of make the game more fun, though, having fans of the opposing
team? It's like
team?
having a party, and like you got everybody that's like feeling the vibe and like listening to the same tune. You know what I'm saying? It's like having a group of people at a party that aren't like it down with the same stuff the majority of people are, having like a own like little clique. It's better like when everybody in the house is all down with the same thing, all, getting, the same good vibe off of the same feeling. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it.
What I'm hearing is the city of Philadelphia's theme song should be Disturbed, Down with the Sickness.
No.
Yeah, because that's what happens to y'all. Y'all go from being good people to some extent, and then your fandom comes out and it's crazier than I am, dadgummit.
That's why, what's it mean to be a fan? A lot of these other quote-unquote fans aren't really fans. They're just fair weather people there because it's like, hey, this is the cool thing to do. Like right now, we were just talking about the other night, right? You had the Knicks. Okay, the Knicks are on TV. What are they showing on TV? They want to show all the celebrities that paid these overpriced ticket prices to come, in New York City to go to MSG to watch this game. Mm-hmm. Show the rightful, Knick fans. Show like Spike Lee, dudes that have been there since the beginning. You know what I'm saying? But
not Ben Stiller. You're not down with Ben Stiller.
I found out
another celebrity.
Actually, I found out today that thick and thin, Ben Stiller is maybe more of a bigger, like, true Knick fan than I guess I was thinking the other night when I was saying this. But still, at the same time, the people that are there when the teams win in like a handful of games a year, those are your fans. Like if it was a Laker game, dude, show Jack Nicholson, show Diane, whatever her name is, that older gal, the blonde-headed chick.
Diane Sawyer?
No, it's something. I can't think of her name or last name right now, but she's a big Laker fan, always there through all the games. So show those fans. But for people that are just paying overpriced, prices for tickets, that just want to come there and hang out because it's the cool thing to do tonight.
Love watching the Knicks lose. Y'all are great fans.
Don't show them, dude. Like, they get their pub and everything. Then I would rather, like I said, I'd rather you show a guy that's like a plumber, a carpenter, a car salesman, whatever, that's spending his hard-earned money for season tickets and he's always there. He's been having season tickets for the last 35 years. Show that guy. Put him on TV. He deserves to be there. Not some clown that just, makes a bunch of money on TV and just wants to show up for one night.
How many Eagles games did you go to this past season?
I went to 0.
Why?
Because I live in Panama City and not in Philadelphia.
But you're a huge fan, though.
Right? And you have to have the means to travel, and you have to have, the money to buy tickets.
It goes beyond Jordan.
Here's the other thing, man. Philadelphia, it's hard to get a ticket in Philadelphia. On the cheap, too. You know why?
Why?
We got good fans. People want to go to games. We put butts in seats. It's hard to get a ticket. Like when the Phillies were in the World Series last time, it was cheaper for them to fly across the country and buy tickets to go over there with airfare than it was to buy a ticket and watch it at home and sleep in your own bed that night.
Well, Johnny Yankee Seed says what we're all thinking. No one wants to be around a Philly fan. Awful fans. I'm not going to sit there and say that they're awful fans.
No, actually,
they're they are the definition of fanatic, right? That maybe crazy. Maybe there's crazy. A line and they cross it by a large margin. But hey, you're a fanatic, so there is that.
Yeah, and we're like consistent.
Weren't they eating like horse poop after a Super Bowl win?
No.
They were dying.
We'll have 8-year-olds talking about your mom, though.
Yeah, and throwing batteries at Santa Claus.
No, snowballs at Santa Claus. Batteries at the Dallas Cowboys.
So that's acceptable, though, right?
Hell yes.
I mean, you're trying to take down the competition.
You know what? You don't like it? Don't come in our house. Stay home.
Well, I don't think the Cowboy players actually have any choice of the matter, right?
Then you know what? If you want to play football, better learn how to dodge batteries.
Banji Bombadilla talking some playoff basketball with us for the final 2 minutes here. Do the Pacers, we'll start with this, do the Pacers have a shot? Your realistic expectations or thoughts on this? Do the Pacers have a shot in the finals provided both teams close out their series? Do the Pacers have a shot against the Thunder?
I mean, a shot to win a game, yes. A shot to win the series, I don't
Not
think
at all.
so. The Thunder are just too deep. Like, them getting Hartenstein, getting Caruso, there's so much depth in that team that you're going to get exposed. I feel like your magical run is finally over. I'm tired of seeing happy Pacers fans.
It's like, that is not supposed to be a thing.
At all.
Happy Pacers fans,
At
right?
all. Once, because please, remember the post Paul George era where y'all were just mediocre with.
Mediocre is putting it very nicely.
We're just happy to be there.
Exactly.
Yeah, we were happy to still have a stadium in the great state of Indiana, or a field house, if you will, and whatever. I mean, there's some times where you could look at the starting lineup every day for 82 games out of the year and still not know who in the world your players were for the Indiana Pacers. And honestly, when they traded DeMontis Sabonis to the Kings for Tyrese Halliburton, it's like, all right, there could be a lot more upside for Tyrese Halliburton and what the Pacers are trying to do, but also DeMontis Sabonis is very fundamental, right? Like, why would we want to go, and he's bigger, right? Yeah. Why would we want to go in the opposite direction? Now, it didn't take very long at all for Tyrese Halliburton. Like, this is that guy. And then when they did something so uncharacteristic of the Indiana Pacers, trading for Pascal Siakam and then signing him and then signing Obi Toppin, like, not that he's some great player, but you're showing these guys, we will pay y'all, but let's continue to build what we've got going on here. And I'm so glad that they gave Rick Carlisle the second chance to come back to Indiana, because I really do think him trying to coerce Miles Turner to stay for the run, or just that they could have something special there in Indiana, I think has been the biggest piece of the puzzle, and all of that outside of obviously Tyrese and Pascal Siakam. But Miles Turner plays a huge role. And then, I mean, the more that with Neesmith and with Nembhard, I mean, those guys right there, when things aren't going right for your 1 and 2, those guys step in and they make things happen, which is what you're talking about with the Thunder.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be SGA all the time. It doesn't have to be Chet Holmgren or even Jalen Williams. They've got options the further that you look down that roster. Banji, anything you want to leave the people with this afternoon?
Thunder in 5.
You can come back when the series is over then. My goodness, Thunder in 5, and he's not talking about this series that the Thunder are in against the Timberwolves right now. He is predicting the future. He is playing Nostradamus, saying that the Thunder will beat the Pacers in 5 games, which absolutely possible. Absolutely. But the Pacers are doing things that are impossible this year. You guys are riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. That'll do it for our guy, Banji Bombadilla. He is the local sports reporter for the Panama City News-Herald. Y'all go sign up and read all the great content that he is bringing your way at the News-Herald. This is ESPN Northwest Florida, hour number 2 of the Afternoon Underdogs. Up next.
The ride home just got more dangerous. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is your spot for the Afternoon Underdogs.
One of the more underrated, fast as lightning. You know that he's got perseverance.
Weekdays 4 to 6 live from the CBC Construction Studio. Reactions, rants, and your calls at 850-215-6290. The Afternoon Underdogs are live and local. Weekdays on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your forecast on this Wednesday. Partly cloudy skies tonight with a light breeze out of the southwest around 5 miles per hour, and look for the low to be 79. Tomorrow morning, there will be likely thunderstorms and moderate rain with the temperature reaching 84. Likely thunderstorms and moderate rain in the afternoon and evening with a high of 86. This weather is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
CBC Construction is looking for a few good men. At CBC Construction, our greatest strength lies within our talented team. Join us and be a part of a dynamic company that values its people. We offer a tremendous opportunity to create a future for your family and the Florida Panhandle. CBC Construction is now hiring. Call us at 850-740-3815 or visit cbcconstruction.com to learn more. CBC Construction. Be part of a winning team.
Beach Pizza, formerly Marcy's Pizza, is back with more hours and more pizza. Beach Pizza has new owners and now open every day 11 to 11. Pizza by the slice, whole pies, wings, pretzels, garlic knots, and more choice eats in East PCB. I finally tried a slice and it was a thin crust, totes, cheesy slice of paradise. 8815 B Thomas Drive, online at beachpizzapcb.com. Call ahead 850-775-4053.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota, ESPN Northwest Florida. Now, we're live and local inside the CBC Construction Studios. You think you've been on your grind? The 11-year-old cashier at the Gin Gin puts in more hours than you.
Do any of you people do any actual work?
Just saying.
We might need to work on your sales pitch.
Less work and more play.
All right, show's over. Everybody back to work.
Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs, ESPN Northwest Florida.
It is hour number 2 of the Afternoon Underdogs. I'm David Hayes along with Caveman Rick and Morgan Hilliard on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon. Shout out to Banji for staying with us for the first hour. No Atlanta Braves tonight. The game was postponed. They'll be taking on the Phillies tomorrow at 5:45 for the second half. I lied to you guys and said that I would tell you what the updated time for the first half of the doubleheader is, but just like that, it's magic. It'll be at 12:05 tomorrow afternoon. Atlanta Braves baseball on ESPN Northwest Florida is brought to you locally by Bill Bird Kia, PCB Hobby, Panama City Toyota, Hewitt Tire and Auto, and Hometown Towing. Morgan, I've got a question that at 5:20, I'm interested to hear your answer.
Okay.
Because we've got two kind of polar opposites with the Texas A&M softball and Texas A&M baseball team. So we'll see about that. Are you excited that the Aggies didn't make the tournament for your nerves?
Sorry, I was trying to share the post on Facebook because I'm running. I never shared it, and I share it every Wednesday. Okay. Am I excited?
That you were talking about it maybe last week. If it wasn't that, it was the week before, and you were saying that when your team's out of the World Series at that point, you could just watch all the games, easy breezy or easy peasy.
I know where we are now.
All right.
I'm ready now.
College baseball.
I'm ready now.
We're in your world.
So I remember what my comment was.
Gotcha.
What specifically you're talking about. So I was excited about it because, one, it doesn't matter to me anyways. Even if we made the playoffs somehow, I didn't think that we would go very far. So I said if and when, because I didn't really know what they were going to do. Were they going to put us in the bracket, in the field of 64 just for narratives?
Right.
Sure, maybe. You never know. They'll do anything.
Put them as a 4 seed in the Longhorns.
Yeah, they'll do anything these days. So that's why I kind of phrased it around if and when. But I'm not so upset that I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe you didn't rank my team and you didn't put us in the field of 64 because we never really deserved to be there.
Yeah, you got swept by Missouri.
Yeah, well, aside from that, we didn't deserve it at all, period, point blank. In my opinion, we won games we were supposed to win. Were there a few games that we won that we shouldn't have won? Yeah, absolutely. Nobody thought we were going to come out of a series LSU with a win. I mean, maybe in my afternoon delusion, sure, which hits every day about 2 o'clock. But
there you go.
But in my delusion, yeah, absolutely. Like, sure, we do win this game. And, me predicting that series was all just for shigs, if you catch my vibe, for shigs. But, I mean, essentially, no, I'm not upset because it was only a matter of if, when, how, why, or where.
Yeah.
I know it's coming. It's like trying to pinpoint. It's like knowing lightning is striking, but where does it strike?
Yeah.
That kind of feeling. So I'm not upset about it. I am kind of glad that it's just over and done with. I don't have to care anymore because, yes, I can watch all the games going forward. And sorry, I'm talking with my hands a lot today. I can watch all the games going forward and just be a pure enjoyer. Just from like an analytical standpoint, I can just watch and enjoy. It's almost like, you know, you've got a 6:30 game on a Saturday and you're waiting for your team, but like you're watching all the games prior to that and you're like, oh my God, that's an insane play. You know, you've got the multi-screen going, you have everything working and you're just enjoying. That's how the rest of, until Omaha is over, that's how the rest of this will ride for me.
There you go. Just enjoying, which last year there was a lot of enjoyment along the ride for you, but it did not end in total satisfaction. Especially you lose the College World Series to Tennessee, and then a couple days later you lose your coach to
but every
your
time we take the field,
rival.
I like get sick in the fact of like, how's this going to go? Like when we played Auburn this year, like went into that game with a headspace of there's no way we walk out of Jordan-Hare Stadium without a W. There's no way we walk out of Auburn without a win. And then lo and behold, all the overtimes and then not making that final down in the red zone. You know, all these things that add up. And it's just kind of like the drop pass is the stab to the heart. And you're like, what's happening?
What was the acronym that you brought up about you and your fellow Aggies?
BAS?
Yes.
Battered Aggie Syndrome?
Yeah. Y'all are a battered bunch, no doubt about it. If you want to talk about sad things with Texas A&M and the Aggies athletics, call in on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. All right, normally we do some Would You Rather, but I've got a new segment for us to try out here pertaining to college football and NFL. It's called Who Said It, and it'll be basically fact or fiction, but will it be a ball coach or a blowhard? Ball coach means it's a real statement. You think that someone actually said that. I have all the information right over this way. Actually, I'm going to need to grab something after I get you guys started on it, but it's right here, so I won't go too far. Let's start off with college football. We'll alternate between college football and NFL. The first one should be easy. I set it up on a tee for you guys. We don't need rat poison. We need reps. Caveman Rick. And if you think that it's a real statement, try to answer with who you think said it.
All right, I think it's blowhard. I think somebody said that. I don't think that's a Nick Saban type saying.
You think it's a blowhard?
Yeah.
That was Nick Saban back in 2022.
Oh, that was the actual quote that he used?
Yeah. He said, I don't know if he said the last part about we need reps, and he's talking about practice, reps in practice. But yes, he did say.
Well, I remember the rat poison part, but the needing reps, I don't. That's why I figured it was a blowhard. Somebody else. That's cool.
That's fair enough. Some of these are pretty funny along the way, and I did not check to make sure that every single one of these are right. I was trusting my source, as it were. But yeah, Nick Saban, 2022. Here's what we'll do moving forward. You'll do the NFL, you'll do college football, because I feel like I know you do college football and the NFL, but that's what we're going to do.
Cool with all of it.
All right. For you, Morgan, at LSU, we don't rebuild, we just reload the gumbo. Is that coming from a ball coach or a blowhard?
I don't think that's real.
Ding, ding, ding. You are correct. When I was first reading these before I saw the answers, I was like, oh, yeah, that definitely sounds something like Brian Kelly would say to try to fit
Brian
in.
Kelly would say that? Oh, yeah.
To fit in.
Okay.
Not because he actually feels that way, but because, he stands in front of the basketball, arena and says, hey, part of the family. Dadgummit. Let's get back up there to Notre Dame, Indiana. To you, Caveman Rick. In the NFL, we're not rebuilding, we're reloading with receipts.
That's probably something a coach said.
This one's for sure real.
If it's receipts, and it's either a Belichick one or somebody from the Jets said it.
You're correct. Yeah. It was someone from the Jets, no longer with the Jets. There you go. That was back in 2023 at a Jets press conference. All right. Playing in the swamp at night is like walking into a bar fight with a Bible. That's a tough one.
This is a tough one. I think that one's real. I do think, no? I don't know. It made me think of whenever Schloss said death taxes in Florida.
Hey, there you go.
I was surprised to not see that on this list.
It almost sounds like something in between something Steve Spurrier and Urban Meyer would say. Like,
I could see Urban Meyer saying it with his little toupee flapping. Yeah, for sure.
There you go.
Flapping on the sideline.
Back to the NFL, Caveman Rick. The Browns are like a barbecue joint with no brisket, good sides, and no meat.
That's a blowhard.
That is Ohio Brad sending us that quote in about his team. Absolutely not. That is fake. Good job, Caveman Rick. Detective Rick. All right, for you, Morgan, from college football, the loudest noise I've heard was in Death Valley, and I've been married 22 years.
This one seems like rage bait. I feel like someone would tweet this, like from LSU, just to get people mad on the timeline. Ooh.
Ball coach or blowhard with Morgan Hilliard. What's it going to be?
I'm going to go with not true. No.
This one is real. This was Brian Kelly in a 2024 post-game presser. Back to the NFL.
Oh.
This quote is, I treat every game like the Super Bowl because I ain't been to one. Caveman Rick, is that real or fake?
I think it's real.
It is real. Micah Parsons said that before week 3 of last year. All right, here's one for you, Morgan, from college football. We're not underdogs. We're misunderstood dogs. We're not underdogs.
Wait, that's not on this list.
Okay, well.
Well, I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared. I'm ready now.
Okay, all right. Now that you're ready, we're not underdogs. We're misunderstood dogs. Real or fake?
I go with ball coach.
That is fake.
I hate this game. This is horrible.
There you go.
I hate this game.
There
Why
you
are we
go.
playing this? All right.
All right, we're going to move to Would You Rather here in a second because we are going all the way to 6 this afternoon because the Atlanta Braves and the Phillies were postponed. Who do you got to win the NBA Finals? I'll give you a swift break from this game. Who do you want to win the NBA Finals? You got 4 choices, the Knicks, the Pacers, Thunder, or the Timberwolves. There's only one right answer here.
I don't watch NBA.
It's okay. Just take a gander. Just pick one of the 4 teams.
Can I say the Knicks?
Yeah, you can say the Knicks.
Sure.
All right. It's the New York Knicks down 3-1 to the Indiana Pacers right now. All right. We left off NFL here. Yeah. We don't panic in Kansas City. We just Patrick.
That's like a blowhard came up with that.
You are correct. That is
Chiefsaholic.
Chiefsaholic mentioned.
There you go. There you go. If you want 5 stars, back to college football for Morgan. If you want 5 stars, go to Georgia. If you want Saturdays, come to Oxford.
This feels like curated right out of Lane Kiffin's mouth. That's what I'm going with.
No, it's
that is so something he would tweet.
Exactly. I do agree with that. You could be right on the next one, though. Back to the NFL for Caveman Rick. If you hit the quarterback, you hit the economy. Real or fake?
That's probably real. It's probably a coach, actually, after his quarterback got, drilled or knocked out, probably said something.
Think this coach will make sense, I believe, when you hear it. When you hear who it was that said it. In 2022, it was Dan Campbell, probably just after. Was that his first year there with Detroit, 2022, or was it 21 when he
probably 21 because he's been there for 3. Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah, he's been there for 3.
That's when he started talking about eating kneecaps or biting them. But if you bite something, you better. There you go. Let's see here. You don't come to the SEC to have a quiet fall. Morgan, college football.
This has to be real, right?
Mm-hmm.
This has to be.
It is real.
Okay.
Now, who do you think the coach is? And it hasn't been that long since you mentioned them. Lane Kiffin.
Okay.
Lane
I was going
Kiffin.
to say Kirby Smart or Lane.
2000 shoot. Kirby would love for the fall to be quiet, especially the summer. If the summer could go into a quiet fall and then when winter gets ramping up, the people are going crazy for the college football playoff. I think Kirby would enjoy at least 1 year like that so he doesn't have to deal with all of the off-the-field antics there from some of the younger dogs. Back to the NFL. I'd rather get fined than let that guy score on me. This is a cornerback. So I just told you that it's real.
Yeah. So it's real.
Jalen Ramsey. I could just picture him saying this. I'd rather get fined than let that guy.
I would think of like the Darrell Revis or somebody like that.
Yeah. There you go. Jalen's a little bit more, if you can believe this. I would say Jalen Ramsey's a little bit more saucy, sassy. Even I'd go that far, more so than Darrell Revis was. I feel like Darrell Revis really didn't talk a whole lot as much as just kind of held you down to Revis Island.
I mean, he did, but I think he did. He talked a lot and got his money, and held out and did all those kinds of things. I just don't think we were hearing about it quite as much because, I mean, it's... and
it's been a while. Yeah, that's a great point there. Back to college football. We don't schedule cupcakes. We schedule carbs with an attitude. Don't think too hard.
No.
You're right. It is absolutely fake. And then the last one here for the NFL. We lost the game because we didn't win.
That's a player saying that or something, just being dumb with a smart-ass remark.
They're making a movie about this guy. John Madden was the one who said that. Nicolas Cage, I believe, is the guy who's going to be playing. Are you excited about that at all? I know we don't really care about movies
I don't know because is like Nick Cage. I'm trying to think who's playing Pat Summerall. But it's got to be done right, man. That's going to be a touchy kind of a thing. I'm going to have to wait until I see something on it and see how they're actually portraying those guys. Because if you don't do it right, to me, it's going to be kind of insulting. I think you got to do it the right way. You got to, pay him some respect. You know what I mean?
Speaking of movies,
Christian Bale is the
Bale.
actor.
Yeah, okay.
Batman.
Speaking of movies, have you guys seen where Jordan Peele is going to be releasing a movie, quote unquote, based off of Patrick Mahomes? It's entirely fictional. It's supposed to be also like a horror film, and it's about a guy who mentors a young man hopefully to become a star quarterback in the NFL. And it's like Black Mirror meets scary, and he has to go through like a series of Illuminati trials essentially to be a star, like sell his soul, literally.
It's like Robert Johnson going down to the crossroads.
Is he insinuating that Patrick Mahomes sold his soul to get to that level?
He hasn't directly said that, but I mean, that's kind of like what he had said, is that he was basing it off of Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, it's called him.
Yes, it's called him.
Is the lead actor, not his real name, but his acting name, going to be Himothy?
I don't know.
All righty then.
Timothy Chalamet?
Timothy Chalamet. There you go. Traffic jam and trivia. Hit us up on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. What NBA player has played in the most career NBA playoff games without winning a championship? I'm glad that I read that correctly.
Yeah,
well,
I noticed
not read,
that because it said with, and I was thinking, that must be a mistake.
Yes, sir. Good old typo right there. I'm good for 2 or 3 or 4 of those every single day. Caveman Rick, I think we're going to go ahead and dive into a break so that we can try to finish up as much of the college baseball bracket. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be right back with Morgan Hilliard and college baseball.
Come on vacation.
Summer vacation. Hey, how's your vacation going?
Leave on probation.
Sheriff's deputies in Panama City Beach arresting 161 people during an out-of-control spring break weekend.
Welcome to the Emerald Coast. Have a great time at the beautiful beaches, but not like end up in the back of a police cruiser great. A friendly reminder from 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your forecast on this Wednesday. Partly cloudy skies tonight with a light breeze out of the southwest around 5 miles per hour, and look for the low to be 79. Tomorrow morning, there will be likely thunderstorms and moderate rain with the temperature reaching 84. Likely thunderstorms and moderate rain in the afternoon and evening with a high of 86. This weather is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
Hewitt Tire and Auto. Call 850-769-7323.
Your certified AAA service center and hometown towing.
Visit them online at HewittTire.com.
On Airport Road in Panama City.
850-769-7323. Hewitt Tire and Auto Center and hometown towing.
Need a tow? Call Billy at Hometown Towing, 850-265-1562.
You found us inside the CBC Construction Studios. You want a big-time sports show? Tune in for the Afternoon Underdogs.
We're live and local here.
Weekdays from 4 till 6.
We need one more SEC team in there to shake things up.
The Afternoon Underdogs are on the air. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are back. It's the Afternoon Underdogs on ESPN Northwest Florida. I'm David Hayes along with Caveman Rick, and Morgan Hilliard joins us each and every Wednesday around 5 o'clock. And we always talk college sports to some degree. Right now, we're in the midst of college baseball season, or really at the tail end of college baseball season when it starts heating up for me. And sadly for you, your Aggies didn't make it into the tournament, but also it puts you in a position where now you can be an enjoyer rather than a destroyer of your said emotions there. But my Tide did, so we'll see if they can make it to the Super Regionals. It'll be tough for them though. Southern Miss may not have you might not recognize it as a huge brand right off rip, but they've been having a great season, and they're pretty daggum good at baseball as well. Morgan, how are we doing this this bracket breakdown and whatever else you got planned for us this afternoon?
Beautiful. No notes. My turn to drive.
All right.
All right. So I have printed us out the field of 64, and today we are just going to pick regionals. No farther. I mean, you can if you want, but on air, we're only going to talk about regionals. That way it kind of leaves more discussion and open-ended for us to continue and see if we have a winner.
I'm closing all those open ends. I'm going to put a dead end and a cul-de-sac at each one. I'm just kidding.
However, we have to go back to last week when we picked the SEC and ACC tournament. So out of the SEC in the Final Four, Dave, you got 2 right. Rick got 3 right for the Final Four, and I got, I don't know, 3 at least. 3 at least. So,
well, who was your Final Four?
My Final Four was Texas, Vandy, Arky, and LSU. So I had 3 right because I had Vandy, Arkansas, and LSU.
But Tennessee beat Texas.
Yeah, but I had the other 3.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not including Texas. And then for the ACC, you had all 4 right for the Final Four. We all missed the winner. And Rick
we all went FSU, didn't we?
Yeah, we all went for the
Carolina,
trifecta. And North Carolina beat Clemson. Rick had 2, but if we're going totals, you win this round. Congratulations.
I'm humbled.
Rick won last week. You won this week.
All right, it's your turn. This is the big one. This is the big one. This is for all, well, not all the marbles, but a good portion of the bag.
A good portion of the bag. Let's see how we do. All right, Rick, we'll let you start us off. We're starting in the top left in the Vanderbilt Regional.
I got to go with Vanderbilt, man. Number 1 seed.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Sorry, Wright State Chris.
I mean, that's who I hate it for the most is Wright State Chris. But I don't think the Raiders are going anywhere. Give me the Commodores.
I'm also going to take the Commodores. Anchor down here. Anchor down.
Anchor down.
All right. Right underneath that, Dave, start us off.
Okay, all right. We're moving to the Southern Miss Regional. They've got Columbia, Miami, Florida. I don't know why I read that out loud. Miami.
And there's also in Ohio, Miami.
Yeah. I think Southern Miss, we've got a listener, Will Palfrey. He sends me an update each time that Southern Miss plays, a long paragraph of, how the game went, all of that stuff. So I've been excited for Southern Miss all year long, and then seeing them climb the ladder of the AP Top 25 and all of that good stuff. I still got to go with the Tide, though. We'll see. And if Tennessee had just blown out Bama, which still looked like a blowout, but the fact that they battled back in gives me some credence to say, you know what, see what y'all can do. I'll pick you and I'll take my mark if y'all lose.
Fair enough. Rick?
Who you got? Oh,
all right. So I'm up.
I forgot I'm not driving. I'll put my seatbelt on and quit being a backseat driver.
All right, passenger princess, settle down.
I guess.
Don't go that far. No, I'm just kidding.
Dang, it's tough. I guess give me Southern Miss. Give me the 1 seed. I don't know.
Okay. I'm also going to take Bama in this one.
Roll Tide.
I'm also taking Bama. Going next, we are going to the Florida State Regional with FSU. I can't say that first word.
Bethune-Cookman.
Thank you. Mississippi State and Northeastern.
I'll go first, so that gives Rick a little time to think about him. I'm going FSU right here. I think this is the year. Well, could it be a repeat? The year that they make it to the College World Series without a title? I want it to be the year that they win it all. Are they strong enough, though?
I don't like FSU's odds here. I'd really, I know in this field, I feel like they could have picked someone other than Mississippi State who really deserved to be here. Yes, they have a good W to L ratio, but I don't think they are the most deservingest team in this regional. I was also going to take FSU for this because I have really strong, high hopes for them to make it to Omaha.
So who are you picking?
FSU.
Oh, okay. Me as well. Rick?
Yeah, it's kind of tough. I'm probably going to, no, give me Mississippi State. I don't care.
There you go.
I ain't putting money on here. I don't care.
All right.
Every dog has its day, and that day could be for a Bulldog out of Mississippi State. Leanne would love it.
With an interim coach. We'll take it.
Hey, there you go.
Moving on to Oregon. Oregon State with St. Mary's in California, Southern California, and TCU.
So this is the first time that I'm not going with the number 1 seed in that particular region. I'm just going to take one step down. I'm going to go with the Horned Frogs out of TCU. I don't know much about Oregon State. All I do know is that they're not playing the same baseball that they were, the same competition that they were in the past because the Pac-12 is defunct. So with that being said, I'm going to take TCU.
I would like to see the Horned Frogs do something fantastic here, but I'm kind of leaning towards a little bit of an underdog upset with the 3 seed of Southern Cal.
Oh, you're going USC here. All right.
All right, and
Caveman?
For me, give me Oregon State. Do something different.
All right, take the Beavers.
I hope you're writing them down as we go, by the way.
Yeah, I'm circling one.
Okay, perfect. No notes, because I'm going to.
You could just circle the whole regional then, and you'll win.
I'm going to collect these at the end. Ooh, this one's really fun. Okay, so actually, go down one more. We're going to go
So skip North Carolina?
No. We're at North Carolina. Sorry. We're at UNC. We've got, obviously, UNC, Holy Cross, Nebraska, and Oklahoma.
This is kind of a tough one, right? Outside of maybe Holy Cross, I don't know anything about them, but hey, they got here to this point. I'm going to go with the ACC champs, though, and stick with North Carolina, but I think Oklahoma had a nice little run in the SEC tournament that maybe they can build some momentum off of that. And then Nebraska, if they're anything like how the softball team performed in their regional, they could get it done, but I'm going to stick with North Carolina.
I love this matchup. I feel like between North Carolina and Oklahoma and Nebraska, you've got a good mix of guys who are... it could go either way. This one's really a tug of war. What I don't love about this matchup is that UNC has such a high lead on the win-to-loss ratio, and they're coming off a high win. They're going to be on a high. I'm also going to take UNC here.
Yeah, I mean, I love that take. Caveman Rick?
Yeah, same thing. Give me Tar Heels.
You know what happened the last time we all
I know, we all picked Vandy as well, so we're going to see what happens. This one, I think, will be a little bit different. You've got Oregon, who has been playing pissed off baseball out of their minds. I mean, they had one game where they had a 35-run rule. Like, Literally a 35-run rule. I don't know how you compete with that in some aspects. Then you have Utah Valley, Cal Poly, and Arizona.
All right, I think there's really only, and I could be so far off base with this, but I think there's only two choices in this one, right? Oregon or Arizona. And for me, the reason, my reasoning for why I'm going to go with Oregon is because one day I was looking at the top 25 and I was like, Oregon's at number 4? Are you kidding me? All right, then. So I'm going to take Oregon just for that small factor.
All right.
I'll do Arizona.
I love it.
You're going Cal Poly.
I'm going Cal Poly.
Hey, nice.
Our first L was to Cal Poly. I'm going Cal Poly.
Is that your reason for taking them? I mean,
yeah.
Don't forget where you guys are at right now.
I know we are. I know, and I've watched. But if they could beat out the first team to hand us a loss in a series, even though it was a 2 out of 3, that was like where they started, and I also really love their TikTok. I'm basing it off vibes alone. Give me Cal Poly.
Hey, vibes can take you places, so there's
also,
that. I like it.
There was someone who was in our, like, one of my group chats, and they're a Nebraska fan, and they were like this if your team made it to a regional or to the field of 64. And
Did they tag you?
I responded. I was like, go Cal Poly. And now I've got to fit the narrative.
There you go. I don't even know who Cal Poly, like what their team name or mascot is.
I can't remember.
Technicalities.
I can't remember off the top of my head. I couldn't tell you.
A spreadsheet.
That's good. That was good. They are Mustangs.
Okay, give me the Mustangs.
Do y'all think of horses when you think of
Cal Poly?
California?
Absolutely not. Well, I don't know, running wild on the beach, maybe.
Well, I've never been to San Luis Obispo, so I can't,
Almost sounded like you said our best. All right, moving on. Next regional, we are going to Coastal Carolina. This one kind of gave me a chuckle, by the way. We're going to Coastal Carolina, who is hosting Fairfield, East Carolina, and Florida Gators.
Tough draw for Coastal Carolina, who's had a good season, who got to be one of the top 16 seeds, where they land at 13 overall here. But I am not going to take the fighting Chanticleers. I'm going to go with the Florida Gators.
Yeah, same here. Florida Gators. I'm not taking the French chickens.
I'm taking Coastal, and I love the fact that Florida has to travel to Coastal, just because in my mind there are like 6 other regionals that are just a tiny bit closer to Gainesville than going all the way to Coastal, and it's just a little different to me. I think they're going to have the edge on this one.
I like that take. I do. All right.
All right, let's move on. You've got Auburn with Central Con, Stetson, and NC State, and I know who I'm taking. So
you're not going with the Tigers, huh?
I am
You're
not.
going with a different animal. I'm guessing right there. I am gonna. It pains me to say this out loud, but I'm gonna go with Auburn. I'll say it quietly, and I'll even give the Auburn fans a little War Eagle, but it's not a very strong or passionate one.
Okay.
Rick?
Yes, same thing. I was actually out in the backyard today, saw a bald eagle. So give me the War Eagle, the Auburn Tigers.
There you go.
It's a draw for me here. I lean one way towards Stetson really, really heavily. Another part of me leans toward NC State. You know what? Who cares? Give me Stetson.
Hey, there you go.
I wrote down NC State, but I like Stetson's odds much more.
See, for me, NC State and Auburn were kind of in the same position,
Yes.
where they were in a position to move forward in their conference tournaments, but did not have good conference tournaments. Auburn lost to, was it A&M in baseball?
Yes.
Yeah, y'all blanked them, right?
First beat out, yes.
Yeah, 9-0, and North Carolina State, I believe they lost to someone who they shouldn't have lost to, I believe. So that is why I just said, here, I'll let my SEC bias shine bright like a diamond, and that's why I went with Auburn.
Shine bright like a diamond. All right, moving on to the right side of the page. You've got Texas at the Dish hosting Houston Christian, Kansas State, and UTSA.
What's up, baby? No, I'm going with the Texas Longhorns.
Really? All right.
Yeah, give me Utz to the Roadrunners.
The real I-35 showdown going on in here. I know some Texas State fans who are not going to like that comment.
Are you going HCU?
No, I'm not, actually. I know Texas is going to win this game probably, but you know what? Don't care. Give me the Jayhawks.
No, that's
that's not them. That's actual Kansas.
Kansas is all the way at the bottom.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I want them. Sorry, their logos confuse me. Give me UTSA in this one. Give me the Roadrunners.
There you go, man. I would be fine if Texas goes down. You know, the SEC don't pay none of us anything for the more teams that move on, and I love the underdogs to move on. So, shoot, I'd be fine if Houston Christian comes out of that one. How about that next one?
We're going to jump over to UCLA. Should go to UCLA. Okay, sorry. We've got Fresno State, Arizona State, and UC Irvine.
Yeah, you said that right. Okay. They're out of California. Fresno State is as well, so 3 of the 4 schools here are from California, and then you throw in the Sun Devils of Arizona State, but I'm going to go with UCLA here. They've had a great... This doesn't mean anything, but they've had a great run in softball, and so I expect them to do the same here in baseball, at least getting to a super regional.
All right, give me UC Irvine.
All right.
I think I'm going to go for ASU just because I want to see...
You're changing your answer? Oh, no, you didn't answer.
I want to go with ASU because I like their pennies. Vibes alone. They have great pinstripes. They're sick, honestly.
I thought you were talking about like an Abraham Lincoln penny.
Oh, no, I'm talking about like their uniforms.
Gotcha.
You know I love a good uniform.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Give me ASU in this.
And it makes a ton of sense, right? Pennies being pinstripes.
Pennies.
Did not make the connection there. All right, I'm going... Where are we at here?
Ole Miss.
Oh, yeah.
In Oxford.
Give me Ole Miss. Give me Ole Miss. They're hot right now.
Dude.
They played some good baseball in the tournament.
They're not hotter than Georgia Tech, I don't think. Even though they got
Georgia Tech beat. Did they lose in the championship game?
No, it was the one before. It was the semifinal.
Okay.
They lost to Clemson, I think. I'm taking GA Tech for show.
Yeah,
the Ramblin' Brick.
Georgia Tech, Yellow Jackets.
Let's go over to Athens at the Georgia. You've got, I can't say this one, you say this one because I'm going to butcher it.
I would say Binghamton.
Yeah, Binghamton. It's up in New York.
Thank you. Then you've got OSU and Duke.
Actually, Tony Kornheiser from PTI. That's where he went to school. Binghamton.
Neat. This one's tough because I've already made my picks for all of these on the Inside Drive, so I'm not going to change them up. But, the more that I sit here and think about it, Georgia has, they've been number 1 at some point in time this year. I think that they're a solid team, but so is Duke. And Duke's one of those teams who have been going under the radar this year, but I'm going to stick with my gut instinct there and take the Dogs.
Rick?
Same thing. Give me Georgia.
I'm going to go with Georgia, but I feel a little like Georgia has too many of their eggs in their pitcher, Curley. They have a lot of pride in Curley.
Did you just call that man a basket?
But, I mean, shoot, you got beat by Justin Lampkin this season. You got beat by a lamp. Yeah, lamps, baskets, all the narratives right.
There you go.
All the narratives right. Anyways, I feel like it reminds me a lot of last year's Arkansas, where Arkansas had a lot of faith and almost no faith in anyone else, that they just let Hagen Smith run wild. And that's kind of how I feel with Georgia and Dean Curley. That same vibe and all of that pressure riding on him, but I still think Georgia comes out of this a winner.
Let's go Dogs.
And then we get a Georgia GA Tech matchup.
That would be
families.
Cool. But so would Ole Miss and Georgia as well. That would still be good.
Too. All of it would be good. I'm happy with all of it. Let's go over to Baton Rouge. You've got LSU, who's going to be playing crazy, and I have reasons for this. Little Rock, Rhode Island, and DBU.
Little Rock at 24-32, winning your conference does great things for you. And baseball is such a game. No matter what level you're playing at, the hottest team, I mean, really, it's kind of across the board in sports, but I think it's more prevalent in baseball is, you get hot at the right time in a sport that has such a long season, it can take you places you did not think that you were going to go. I'm a huge fan of Dallas Baptist. Ever since Old School was on the show with the Coach's Daughter show back in the day, he'd always talk about Dallas Baptist. So I started taking a liking to them when baseball season was going on.
I think you talked about this in our preseason show for baseball.
Yeah.
You talked about DBU, because we had like a little chat about it. Yeah, for sure. Okay.
But I'm not going with them because LSU is one of the top 5 teams, really, in the country this year. So I'm going to stick with the Tigers.
Yeah, same thing. LSU, lots of Jello shots.
Oh, all right.
They run it up there, too.
They really do. Is it Rocco's?
Yeah, Rocco's.
Rocco's Jello
Mhm.
Shot Challenge? Yes. Okay, I'm going to go with LSU as well. One, they produce fantastic athletes. They are always somewhere in a postseason run, no matter how far they make it. And also, when they played A&M, sort of as a revenge, they threw their number 1 and number 2 against us. Their number 1 started, and their number 1 finished out the game against us to secure that win. Now, it was only a 1-run win, and I don't agree with all the decisions made, but it was the right decision to be made on the field that night. If you were watching, you know what I'm talking about. But they are on a revenge tour. I expect them to make it much farther than
Was this
regional.
regular season game?
No, this was the tournament.
Oh, okay. I did not realize that A&M was playing LSU in the tournament.
Yes, we played Mississippi State, then Auburn, and then when we got to LSU, they came in ready to battle, and I mean, a battle it was.
And you like uniforms. LSU has some good-looking baseball
they're
unis.
gold. I say that loosely.
Yeah, 'cause it's
gold.
yellow.
They're bright yellow neon top with the white pants with the purple pinstripe down the side. No.
So purple stripe, or is it purple pinstripe?
It's just a purple stripe down the side.
Okay, gotcha.
Just a
What
purple
color's the
stripe.
hat?
I think they wear purple hat, and they've got the claw or the eye on the side,
yeah.
and then they've got purple lettering. Ugh, great uniform.
There you go.
Great uniform.
What, man, we could have a whole segment with Miles and Morgan going back and forth on just uniform matchups. Who cares about what's actually happening on the field?
There was another really good one over the weekend. I think
College baseball?
Yes, I want to say it was Stetson. Whoever they were playing over the weekend.
Who had the digital camos?
Oh, I don't know.
Remember those?
I remember those as well. I also really, really loved Vanderbilt's like camel core uniform with just a little bit of red, white, and blue, and the under Vandy, and then on the hat, kind of like a taunt at Ole Miss. I mean, they couldn't have drawn that one up better. That was beautiful. All right, sorry, I'm getting off topic.
No, that's a good topic.
Let's do one more, and then you want to go to a break. Finish it out?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, no. Let's finish this out because we're so close to
let's
the end
finish
right
it
here.
out.
We got 3 more.
All right, let's go over to Clemson, who's hosting USC Upstate, Kentucky, and West Virginia.
Well, I ain't from upstate. I'm from right here in Panama City, but I am going to stick with the Clemson Tigers. I think that they're the best team in this regional. Maybe West Virginia could make some noise about that. And if Kentucky pulls their ploys that you were telling us week in and week out about with taking their time on the mound, who knows if that could frazzle the Clemson coaches and pitching staff and all of that. But until that happens, it'll be too late for me to change my pick. At that point, I've got the Tigers.
Yeah, same. Give me Clemson. I don't think anybody else is that great.
I'm kind of stuck between Clemson and West Virginia. I feel like this is really where the game lies and why these are seated the way they are, but I digress. That's not up to me to determine.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Give me Clemson in this, but the best thing that could happen in this regional is that we don't have to watch Kentucky again this year.
What if they do move on? Is that going to take you off more than any other team?
It's not
moving
going
on?
to take me off. It's just I would love to see Nick Mingione be sat down. Just take a seat, pal. You're not
There you
that
go.
guy. You're not that guy. All right. Go over to the Vols. Let's go over to Rocky Top, who is hosting Miami, Ohio.
There you go.
Call
you
back.
have to say it with the Miami of Ohio. But
Ohio.
I don't like calling Miami, Florida, because we all that's the daggum you, baby.
And then you've got Cincinnati and Wake Forest.
Ooh, I'm going to go with Tennessee, the team who I thought was going to end up winning the SEC tournament because they had quite a few series this year where it did not go the way that you thought it would, especially with Tennessee being defending champs. But I'm going to be taking Tennessee here.
Give me Wake Forest just to do something different.
I'm also taking Wake Forest
I like
in this
that.
one. good call, Rick. Tennessee, they've got an injured starting rotation pitcher. I think they're missing someone else. I don't love that for them. I hate it for the Vols. I have no quarrels against them. I still like Wake Forest better in this matchup.
All right. Well, earlier when we were talking about the Clemson regional there, West Virginia, my question with trying to pick between Clemson and West Virginia, Clemson sitting there at 44-16, and obviously the record doesn't tell the whole story, but West Virginia, rather close, less losses at 41-14. So I was curious as to how good was the Big 12? We know what the SEC brought to the table this year, and I don't know who is the second best conference, probably the ACC. So then it's kind of a battle between the Big 10 and the Big 12. So that's kind of another reason why I stuck with the Tigers at Clemson.
I think the Big 10 really tries to overshadow the Big 12. And for what, really? To me, they kind of stand on level ground in my eyes. That's my personal take. If you don't like it, I don't care. Argue with your mother. I'm not the one. But anyways, I really think that the Big 10 tries to outshine the Big 12. Like, they are kind of almost equals. Like, there's a little bit of give and take in this, but I feel like in a way, in certain matchups, they are kind of almost equals. And to me personally, I think the Big 12 did produce good quality teams and players.
We're just talking about college baseball right now.
I'm just talking about baseball right now.
Well, according to WarrenNolan.com, they have ELO rankings, and it goes SEC, followed by the ACC, then the Big 12, and then actually the Big 10. Yeah.
And that's why
So that's exactly what you just said.
I feel like they try to take that shine off the Big 12, but the Big 12 is producing quality athletes still. There's nothing to not like about the Big 12 in my opinion, but not what we're here for. We'll be here all day. I promise we would never go home.
11 minutes. You can stay as long as you'd like to, though.
Let's go to our last matchup in Fayetteville. We've got Arkansas, North Dakota State, Creighton, in Kansas.
And we know who you're going to be picking.
I'm absolutely picking Kansas
Kansas?
here. And I'm absolutely going Kansas because, Arkansas has this beautiful, wonderful ability to continuously choke in any postseason game, and they have for the past few years. Give me Kansas. I love the Jayhawks. Continue. Sorry, I got excited.
I'm going to add a little bit of, personalism here, and instead of taking Kansas, I'm going to take Arkansas. I'll take the Razorbacks there.
Yeah, and I'm going to do like Morgan. I'm going to take Kensaw.
Yeah, there you go.
Man. Yeah, not without
Kensaw. I can cut anything in half.
You got excited. Doesn't matter, though. We're all happy.
And there you go. Well, let's take a quick break. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. Final segment of this Wednesday afternoon when we return.
Your attention, please.
ESPN Northwest Florida reminds you it's the law. It's the law. When there's a double red flag, stay out of the water, stick your toes in the sand, grab a cold drink, and listen to live sports.
Swung on, miss, strike three.
On 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Double play.
Now in stock at Tommy Otto's.
2015 Jeep Grand Cherokee Altitude. Luxury at a value price. $13,995 or a 2017 Hyundai Santa Fe Sport with one owner. Sporty and affordable. $11,995 at Tommy Otto's.
Buy here, pay here. Financing options available. Everyone is approved. Tommy Otto's, 2209 West 15th Street, Panama City. 850-960-8664. For the latest deals and specials, follow Tommy Otto's on Facebook. Add tag, tax, and title.
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards and Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
Mid-South Lumber, where they treat you like family. Locally owned and serving the residents of Bay County for over 45 years. See Mid-South Lumber for all of your DIY projects, including windows, doors, siding, lumber, and millwork. Are you building a new home? Bring your contractor in to Mid-South Lumber and meet with a member of their sales team to discuss your framing, siding, windows, and doors. Mid-South Lumber, the biggest little lumber yard in Panama City. 717 West 11th Street.
Now, we're live and local inside the CBC Construction Studios. Hometown sports talk from hometown hosts.
People are loving it.
We're live and local. Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs.
Are you kidding me?
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Hey, Pookie, it's the Burnerverse with Morgan.
All right, we are about to enter into the burner verse, and that is led by Morgan Hilliard. First, I want to tell you guys about your Atlanta Braves. No game tonight. We'll be getting you out there to Paul Feinbaum, but the Braves and the Phillies will have a doubleheader. First game at 12:05, second game at 5:45. Coverage right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Atlanta Braves baseball on ESPN Northwest Florida, sponsored locally by Best Way Portable Buildings, Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, Mid-South Lumber, and Brock Pest Control. Morgan, back to you.
Love it. Like we're talking about the weather. Okay, so
it's like we're on the radio or something.
Almost. There are two really funny things happening right now, and the first one, not as great as the second one, but it's still fantastic. There are these two guys. One of them, I can't remember their entire but he goes by Derico. The other one goes by Carson TK.
Are these real players? Or
no, these are
like burners.
These are burners.
Oh, so we're diving into the burnerverse for real.
True burners.
All right, let's go.
They were able to pull off what I think is one of the funniest jokes of all time, really just a prank. They both changed their user profiles to professional photos. They probably just found these on Getty Images.
Like headshots or whatever?
Yeah, they're just headshots. They look like professional news anchors. They changed their burners to these headshots, though. They look very professional. They tweet a lot about sports, so if you took a quick glance, it would probably fool you, and this is why you have to investigate your journalism, peeps. Anyways.
Well, I don't know if Twitter's always the place that I mess up a lot.
I don't know if you want to call it journalism or
Yeah, I know, and I've been fooled before, too, so, you really have to take it for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, but where this went is what makes it so fantastic. They sent out a tweet about how the SEC committee commissioner, the guy who leads it all,
Greg Sankey.
Thank you. Greg Sankey was in talks of leaving the NCAA
by 2028-29
and making their own thing. This was all a hoax generated by them, and it made it onto national.
I'm glad that you brought that up because I've been biting my tongue on that because I couldn't find it anywhere else. I didn't even see it on Twitter, I don't think. I think I saw it from someone sharing it from Twitter onto Facebook, and I kept on why is ESPN's not talking about it? Colin Cowherd. So, and when you just brought that up, after you told the story, I'm like, oh, okay, so it was a lie, because normally if it feels real, I'll get on here and say I can't guarantee it, but saw this, so yeah, that's a wild, pretty popular guy then, old Derico, huh?
I guess they actually banned his account and a few other things.
Elon.
They changed their names, to really fit the narrative. I'm looking at one of the original tweets right now to talk about it, but they've really and he says word for word verbatim, Derico and I, as a duo, pulled off one of the greatest pranks in the history of this app's existence. The fact that multiple of you reported my friend really sickens me. We're a duo trying to have fun. And they really did have fun. I mean, it went as far as it could go, and several top people were talking about this, and this was never a real thing. This was just all something that they came up with. If you're an avid Twitter, you would talk about NBA Centel. It's kind of like just a joke account who tweets crazy things. This week he also tweeted that the WNBA was going to drug test Angel Reese after a 13-point explosion. No one's really taking that to heart.
Funny.
But the girlies, you know, I wouldn't call them like, you know, the people who are coming to the NFL just for Taylor Swift, but the girlies who have never seen Centel before are really, really upset about this guy, and they're just kind of figuring out who he is, and it cracks me up because it's so crazy.
I just followed them. There's also one that pertains to Major League Baseball.
Yes.
I think it's like MLB Facts, but it's like FAX. That's a pretty funny follow as well.
And then there's another guy. I'm actually in a group chat with him as well. You know, there's On 3 Sports. This guy is No 3 Sports.
There you go.
Yeah, he's a really funny guy. He just got married, so shout out to him. My last funny one of the day, coming back to the NBA, like I said, I don't follow the NBA. I will probably butcher these names, but you know, you've got your finals, I guess, coming up. I don't really know much about the NBA. Like I said, doesn't matter, though, because these guys are on opposite teams. I'm pretty sure you've got Tyrese Halliburton and Shai
Gilgeous-Alexander.
Thank you
Just
for
call
taking
him SGA.
Thank you.
That'll
Fantastic. The Burniverse came up with a great name for Halliburton, and they're calling him the Halliban.
Like the Taliban?
Yes, they're calling him the Halliban. And they've come up with another name for your boy, Shea, and they're saying Halliban versus Shea Isis NBA Finals. Who you got and how many games?
Well, that's probably what the finals are going to end up being, because both teams right now are up 3-1. Banji said Thunder in 5, and I will remember that if we get to a Game 6 in that series. But, yeah, I guess... that's the point of the story,
though, right? Are you taking Halliburton or Shea Isis?
I'm a Pacers fan, so I'm riding with Tyrese Halliburton.
All right.
But SGA is a better scorer. I think you can make an argument that total package, when you include the facilitating that Tyrese Halliburton can do, that he's in the same echelon. But once you add the scoring of SGA...
Do this. Put Halliburton on OKC, put SGA on the Pacers, and see what you get. There's more help on OKC. It's a deeper
That's a good
team.
point. But also the players that they put around these players mesh better with them, right? Because Tyrese Halliburton and SGA play two different types of ball, right? SGA can score from anywhere. Not saying Tyrese can't, but Tyrese seems to take his game to a whole nother level when the games start getting close. Anything else from the Burniverse or anything weighing on your mind? All right, what was worse? Texas A&M, Aggie softball, Aggie baseball, being number one in baseball, beginning of the season, missing the playoffs, or being the number one, only time it's ever happened in softball history, number one overall seed, and did not make it out of the regional.
I'm gonna go.
And you don't care about it.
I'm gonna go with baseball, though.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with baseball because, you know, they had magazines, ads, all kinds of interviews and whatnot of how everyone really projected the season to go. Halfway through the season, you know, we've kind of fallen off, but then we start to get hot, but we're getting hot at the wrong time, but we're playing more consistently and we're playing to a caliber that everyone expected us to be. However, on the softball side of things, you're number one seed for the first time in program history, and then you host a regional and you fall off at the end. Okay, at least you made it that far.
Yeah.
At least you got to host, you know, at least you're doing something that you've never done in softball before, and I'll take that. Go Trisha Ford. I mean, shoot, sign her contract for 14 years. I'm good.
Kay Van Rick, Morgan Hilliard, David Hayes. We're the Afternoon Underdogs. We'll have Morgan back with us again next Wednesday, Lord willing. Just remember, Jesus loves you, so do I, and we'll see you tomorrow at 4.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida has the most college and local sports anywhere on the Panhandle. Join the Coach Hale Show